What's up, guys? I'm AUSSIE Metalhead. I'm doing 150 classic albums by the end of the year. This was on my classic album list, and someone on Patreon, thank you so much for requesting this. I don't know anything about Cocteau Twins. I've never listened to any shoegaze or dream pop stuff. To be honest, I thought a lot of them were just the same thing. I thought shoegaze and dream pop were the same thing, but I assume that this is going to be less metal and distorted guitar sort of focused. But yeah, I've seen this album cover. It's absolutely like an iconic album cover. I'm really excited to delve into this one because it is listed as one of the best albums of all time on like all rating sites. But yeah, let's jump into it. I'm curious. I'm sorry to pause it. I don't want to break the whatsoever, but like the way like her deep vocals are so gorgeous in this like really strong like I don't know, just beautiful way. And then the way that her voice gets into like the higher notes on like the more dreamer aspects, I guess, and how it cracks and how delicate and wispy it is just so nice. And how they play off of each other is just so beautiful. I really love it. I find it interesting that the vocals here don't pass over to the right. Yeah, the vocals play on different ears. Like genuinely some of just like the most magical vocals I've ever heard in my entire life. Um, this is like a perfect embodiment of why I love 90s music so much. The alt rock scene and alt scene in general in the 90s, there's just like this sound and tone to the vocals, this more dreamy atmosphere, and like how they delve into more noise elements in the 90s. I just fucking adore it. Like if you go to like Sue Lucky or even if you go more noise poppy, like I love Garbage's first album, which is on my Patreon if you want to see it. But like all of the like those albums, and just how the vocals sound, like there's just like a certain tone to them that I really fucking adore, especially with like how the guitars and how the instrumentation like plays along with it. There's just like this nice sheen to it, but not in like this overly polished sense. It still feels like a bit of like texture and grit to it. I just love it. It's just so textured and beautiful. If you haven't watched me before, I do ratings on the side for my first listens. These are subject to change because I listen to these albums multiple times over before I post them to my Discord, where you can talk to me about my ratings, or I can post them to my album of the year. That's where I go to post my more written reviews. I'm trying to get more into writing written reviews, as I'm going to try and write some album reviews for like Rolling Stones and stuff like that, because I met a Rolling Stone writer in the pit of a concert I recently was with, and I spoke to her for like 5 hours. But yeah, I just absolutely adore this track, and the sound that comes from this era is so nice. And also, this is incredibly early for that sound. Like, the type of sound that I've imagined is the garbage, right? And that's 95. So to have this sound in the 90s, I want to know who like the predecessors are to Cocteau Twins. I want to know where their influences come from. Where does this beautiful vocal styling come from? All of that. I would just love to know the history of it, because I want more albums to add to my classic list to listen to, and then I just love learning about the history of this sort of thing, especially because this sound, if it's just distilled down into like pill form, I would take it every single day and I would become codependent with it. It's just so nice. My average rating, by the way, is a 6 out of 10. I think that's solely because I listen to more good music than bad, because people are requesting Heaven or Las Vegas instead of requesting, I don't know, Anision. But my average is 6, but I try and like spiritually do a 5 out of 10. But this is a 10. Like, this is just a perfect track. There is not a single thing I could even quibble about. It's amazing. It's like, I like how like distant a lot of these sounds are in the mix without it sounding thin. This one has a tiny bit more clarity to it, and less like, it's like less dreamy in a way. I don't know. Except the vocals. This is so nice. It's a completely different like style of track, because the last one feels like it goes more like it delves harder into like a traditional like song structure and like I don't know, like cashiness and poppy and like meatiness to it. Well, like this one feels so cloudy and so but like I feel like it's done really well. I love how her voice bounces off of the like very thin, not thin in like bad sort of way, but like I guess like soft production and everything like that. It's like a very delicate track that I really like. I would say for me I do prefer the first track, but like this is still an amazing song. Yeah, I like it. Ooh. It feels like I haven't heard a shit ton of 80s music yet, but it does feel like this one has like a more of the 80s sensibilities. I don't know. But I like it. It's like feels very feel good. I really like the vocal effects on her voice. Oh. I love it. It's so interesting to me because the way that they do this more like dreamy sound in the 90s, um I like the more analog production instrumentation when it comes to that, because when I'm listening to like stuff that has more dreamy production or is a more like cloud rap or something like that from 2010s, all of it is done through beat production, which I do think is just as valid as instrumentation, but there is like a different sheen that you get from that. Like you get a more electronic tinge where like this kind of feels like it's like trying to like delve towards that sound of that like that ethereal sound a bit, but when you have like a more analog like band making the like riffs and the guitars and all that sort of stuff, it just adds a level of like texture to it that I really like how that plays off of when it use it like playing with these sort of sounds. Like the 90s version of doing this, or like I'm assuming if I'm missing some, but like early 2000s where they have this more like ambitions to like I guess have these sounds that ended up being more electronic based, but they had to just make do with the fact of like manipulating sound within their analog sphere. It's really cool to me. Like, I don't know. It, it just sounds so nice that how they meld together. Um, this track, I think Cherry Colored Funk, I might like a tiny bit more, so this one could go to a 9.5, but like it kind of feels perfect to me as well. Like I'm just in love with it. But yeah, on re-listens it could change, but fucking amazing. Just like this. It has so much like meat to it. It feels more meaty and I like it. Compared to like if you had like a normal produced. I really need to listen to like Kate Bush, Madonna, and stuff like that, because I feel like vocally, those are like the places where I could find this. Maybe like Susie and the Banshees. I just haven't heard any of the albums from them. I really need to. How they play with directional sound is really cool as well. It's also interesting how they would end up mixing and mastering that. I'm fascinated by how they mix and master that when it comes to like prior to digital. Because digital, you can just place it, right? But like here, it's like how you would have to record it would have so much effort put into it. I don't know where I would place this one compared to Pitch the Baby. Again, that would just be something I had to listen to on like re-listens, but I would say this is about the same level. I like when there was so far with like this sort of sound with like Cherry Colored Funk and Ice Blink Luck, there is like a lot more like energy and punchiness to the vocals, despite while keeping like the really pretty high pitched vocals and stuff like that. And I think I prefer more of that than like the more delicate tracks. But the delicate tracks are still done to such an amazing level that it's hard to like fault them. It's just a stylistic subjective feel a difference at that point, I think. But yeah, still incredibly like these just amazing tracks. Like that, there's no song that so far that has felt like any of like the tracks have faltered in any sort of real like tangible way. Like they all feel like there has been a lot of effort and care put into the tracks to make sure that like the quality control is there on every single song. And yeah, it's a really consistently nice listen. Yeah, this one feels so full. like the clarity in the production feels like it just like boosts up. And it's already so well produced that that's just like crazy. This feels like their most confident track. Ooh. The distortion is just so nicely added. Like, usually when I feel like you polish over distorted guitars or something like that, it loses its edge, but it still feels like there's edge there, which I like. Like sharp. But pretty. Like, I didn't even mean it. I don't mean to do a pun here, but like the vocals here are genuinely heavenly. Like they just make you float. Like, there are some songs, right, that are perfect. I think, like, the first track felt like it was just, like, a perfect track. But then there's, like, a certain levels, like, oomph that I feel like some songs have where they're magical. Like, there's just, like, something laced into them for whatever reason. There's, like, the clarity. As soon as I heard this, I was like, ooh. I can tell with, like, most of the time when it comes to, like, music video tracks, like singles and stuff like that, there seems to be, like, an extra level of care to make this sound fuller. I don't know if that was the case, like, in production with this, but I feel like it has that sheen, especially, and when you add that on top of the fact of like you already have like these perfect and amazing tracks that we had before, when you add that sort of like single quality to the song, it just feels like it levels it up to a completely different standard, and it is completely magical. It's one of the reasons why I started this channel like a year and a bit ago, and it's January 19th, so I don't know when this will post, but it was January 19th 2026, and Yeah, I started like a year and a bit ago, and I have listened to over like 1,000 albums since then, and I have about 200 songs that I give 11s to, where I think they're just the best songs of all time. Like think I don't know Bohemian Rhapsody or whatever, right? And that's when like you get like a perfect song where you're like, oh, I can't fault this track, but you can't also come across these songs that are perfect. You can't fault them, and they just have an extra little bit of like charisma or shine or something to them that just makes them stand out even more. And I feel like this track has that characteristic. I'm being tepid with me giving it an 11 because it does feel like it has that sort of gravitas to it, but I would need to listen to it a tiny bit more because like it does have the quality shine of a track that is like on that level. Um, yeah, just absolutely fucking incredible. This is a really pleasant listen. Ooh, this is different. Hmm. There's something about like this sound here that feels more nostalgic to me, and there's like a lot of the tracks here like have a tinge of it. This one feels like it's really steeped in it, and I like it. It's just so gorgeous. I like how heavy this beat is. I like how heavy that one is. It's so nice. I really like when pretty music like this has like those hits. Like these still heavy bass hits. Like, it reminds me sometimes of like the very few tracks I've heard from Depeche Mode. Like Blasphemous Rumors, where it has the more like mechanical sort of sound to it. But specifically just with that one beat. Yeah, that's another amazing track. I think this one's probably going to go up to like a 9.5 for me. I'll just do like the 0.5s and stuff like that later on re-listens. To see where like I think I like this one more than the other tracks, but this one also was like very pretty in like a delicate sort of way, and I appreciate that. But yeah, this one is more in like more the ballpark of what I was talking about, where like the less delicate sounding, there's like a more punchy, and I think that stems mostly from that like one. I don't even know what it is. It just reminds me of like a Depeche Mode sort of industrial sound that they had on Blasphemous Rumors. beat. I really like the bass on that. Yeah, really amazing. Like, I can understand why this is considered one of the best albums of all time. Like, if I look up the ratings at the moment, it is labeled 56th on Album of the Year. And number one for 1990. 100% can understand it. It's just incredible. So far, like, I'm going to assume front to back, because we're more than halfway through and there hasn't been a single, like, blip to me. It's also incredible how, like, early on, I feel like this was. Ooh, very cinematic. I love when she's in like a more like a deeper vocal range. I think it's so nice. I'm gonna give it a 9.5. I think it's like, this is my favorite out of like the crop that isn't the 10. I really love this one, and it could also even go up. I just really love this. Ooh. I like how noisy this track is. I loved how noisy and climactic the end of that track was. I loved that song being more focused on like a deeper register, because she has like such a beautiful voice when like when she's deep. It's also like when she's high pitched as well. It's also really nice. But yeah, this is an incredible album. It's a really good album. Thank you so much for requesting it. I really appreciate like every single patron, especially if you request classic albums, because I give it 2 for 1. Basically, if you sub to my Patreon, it's $5 a month to get early access by months and months ahead of events for my reactions, unless they're like current albums, which I'll release basically pretty quickly. But if they're albums like this, you'll have months early access, and then on top of that, the $5 a month gives you 1 album request under 90 minutes that you can pick from whatever, or you can pick from the classic album list, which this was on, and you can get 2. And I just really appreciate when people, I really appreciate any request. But I really appreciate the classic request because I want to listen to these albums. I haven't heard them for at all, and it feels like it's an important thing. Like especially if I'm gonna start doing writing, I need to hear some of these like incredible albums so I can at least have a better like lexicon of um music, of being able to understand like where these sounds come from and stuff like that. So like going on like a bit more of a learning journey. I like it a lot, especially learning more about like music history by listening firsthand to these albums instead of just like knowing stuff about them, if that makes sense. So I really appreciate that my Patreon requested this because it's an incredible album and I just like it's so fucking amazing that I can get paid. Like I know it's $5, so it's not like a wage, but like get even paid a tiny bit of money to listen to amazing music. It just makes you, it's like a fucking dream come true. I just absolutely love it. And I greatly appreciate you guys. Thank you for all the support. Ooh. I really like the vocals on this one. I really like the more vocal forward tracks, I think. Because it's like a more simple backing track and it's just pretty. And then her voice gets to shine. It's cool. It's at least a 9.5. I'm leaning more towards like giving it a 10. I really like this. It sounds so full. Also, that panning sound across is so cool. I have no idea how you would do that. I love it. That's so nice. This is a 10. I love it. Oh my god. That one's like a cheeky underdog for like my favorite song on the album. Like there's other songs like Heaven or Las Vegas that I think have a bit more like polish to them maybe or something, but like overall I just feel like this track also just feels really full and like beautiful, and it has like, it sounds like a lot of the production sounds clearer, which I know is not when I speak of clarity, I do reference that a lot in my reviews. When I speak of clarity, I don't mean no distortion or no fuzziness or something like that. It's just like the quality, like how well that sounds, if that makes sense. Like, you don't necessarily, like, there are ways to do distortion, in my opinion, that you can hear that it's still clear, but there's distortion, and then there's like muffled distortion that is like a lot of the time that's used in certain ways. Like, it's not a binary, but like most of the time leads to like it sounding worse, and that just like objectively worse, or whatever that means. But yeah, there's a lot of clarity in this mix that I really fucking enjoy. Also, can someone tell me, is the one on Spotify remastered, or is this made from 1990? Because a lot of like the albums that I listen to, their Spotify just naturally has the remastered version on there, and it makes me very interested when I hear sounds that aren't remastered. Like, I think some of the D'Angelo stuff, right, isn't remastered, and that sounds like some of the most beautiful production I've ever heard in my entire life. And to be able to do that earlier on, when like just technology gets better, so we have like better ways to make things sound higher production value, when it's done that, when like older, like if it's 1990 and they're doing that, it's just quite a lot. It's like impressive as fuck to me. So I like knowing about that. There is not a single fucking bad track, like not even remotely. Like, this is the most least streamed track on this entire thing, and it sounds gorgeous. When you have production this good and you have the vocals like this amazing, I guess it would be hard to make a bad song, right? This one doesn't feel like it has as much like, ooh. Hold my thought. I could be wrong. Yeah, what I was gonna say is like this song, the lead up, the build up, feels like it serves more of that passage than the other tracks. Like the other tracks, when it builds into like this beautiful chorus, it feels like it's more captivating to me. So this track felt like it was going to be a tiny bit lower than the other songs, but like this chorus is really fucking gorgeous. And the production is still really well done. So I wanted to give it like an 8.5, but I don't know. I'll give it a 9 for now. Ooh, her vocals sounded so nice at the end now. But like, I feel like I'm even being nitpicky and mean giving some of these songs 9s because they're just so fucking good. But to like, I guess contextualize a bit of my ratings, I guess. As I said, I've listened to like 1,000 albums now, over the course of the year, and I have 30 10 out of 10 or 5-star albums. So this is going to, like, I feel like I'm being as harsh as I can at the moment. when I'm rating this. On re-listens, maybe it doesn't hit me as much, and actually I'm even harsher, but I doubt that will happen. But basically, like, the average score, how I deal with it is like the average rating of every single song added together, just the average. Because without that, I feel like it adds to, like, there's the subjective opinion of each song, but then I feel like there is the subjective opinion of the overall album can get a bit wacky if you just say, oh, this is why I'm rating it. So, like, I like a mixture of the objective and subjective. Like, I'm obviously subjectively enjoying these songs. I think I have reasons why I enjoy certain, like, the atmosphere and the production and stuff like that. I feel like I have some form of objective criteria if we have to put it onto that, like, whatever the fuck, if you want to do critic shit. I feel like you have to believe in that at some point, in some form. But, like, I do that, but, like, I want the tracks to be, like, the subjective element, and then, like, the track ratings average to be, like, the objective element, if that makes sense. To make it consistent, so I don't just be like, oh, this is a 10. And then when, like, I dig down deeper, it's like, actually, how could it be? Because you still feel like there's some faults in the track, or, like, you like this song more than this one, and you think this is a 10, but you don't think this is a 10. So all that sort of stuff. So I do the track ratings on average. And in saying all that, as I said, I have like 30 10 out of 10 albums. So this one averaging out to probably, like, just doing rough math in my head, like 9.5, would probably put it in, like, the top 60 albums I've listened to. Just incredible. And it could go even higher. Yeah, this is an amazing album. I just want to say that because I felt like I was being too mean. But it's like, this is an incredible album. Ooh, this is gorgeous. I know it's not, but it's like it gives me more like an orchestral vibe, so it's more like of an epic feeling to it, which I think is cool. Oh. Ooh, this could be my favorite song on the album. I like when they meld this more like heavier sound into the like very light, pretty poppy sound. Oh. Ooh, I love this. I could see like Heaven or Las Vegas, obviously I can tell by the streams of it. I could see how that's like the go-to like best song on the album, but I could see how like there's a massive subsection of fans that would think this is the best because it has such a nice like intimate quality to it as well. Like, I don't know. This feels like a more like a fan's song. And I really enjoy it. Like this track, I liked the length of it because it allows itself to breathe a bit. And I feel like with this sort of atmosphere, it does a lot. Like, it's really nice when the sound is allowed time to like breathe and sit with itself. I love this part too. It's just like so fun and nice. I love this track. It could be my favorite on the album. I'd have to re-listen to some of them. I feel like it's a front runner as like this one, Having to Las Vegas, Cherry Colored Funk, probably like for top 3 at the moment. But yeah, this is fucking incredible album. Thank you so much for requesting this. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Also, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I appreciate it a whole lot. If you watched this far, that's support enough. But again, if you want to support further, you can go to my Patreon. And you get the album requests and the early access, all that sort of stuff. Thank you guys for supporting me because the channel is doing so well and it's just incredible. I love you guys. Thank you so much. It's crazy how much like my life hasn't like it feels like it's close to being like fully changed, but like the amount of my life has changed quite a bit is amazing. Like going from basically weekly uploading since late July to now where I have like a lot of people on Patreon that care about my opinion and requesting me albums. So I'm making some money off of that, which matters a lot because I make $300 a week normally. And as I'm a full-time student, and to the point of like just yesterday talking to a Rolling Stones writer and like networking with them and all of that, just it feels very exciting how my life is changing and to a realm where I never thought would be possible. Like I can just listen to, I've loved music my entire life. I've just always stuck to my own stuff. So to be able to explore new stuff and explore like and potentially have that be my life or my job or whatever is unbelievable to me. And I just appreciate you guys so much. And yeah, thank you. I love you. Bye.